Well, welcome to another episode of Flamingo's Apartment Rebels podcast. So on the episode, which is probably our last for the day, I have Alex Winborn. And the reason why I'm looking at his business card is because we just met and Alex was telling me about all the cool things that you all do. So wanted to kind of give an overview about who you are, what your company does, and kind of dig in on the cool things that you guys are doing.
Sure. Yeah. I work for HG Fenton. We're a family-based organization in San Diego, primarily in real estate, industrial, and our ability to have our people be business leaders is what I was initially talking to you about. Their empowerment. And I also want to talk to you about a really cool project we were having. And so that's kind of what's important to us is how do we align what's important to the customer and empower our employees to deliver that.
Yeah. So on the end, you mentioned you guys do both multifamily and then industrial. What do those look like? So are you all primarily in San Diego? Are you national? Or what does the portfolio look like?
So we have about 3,500 units in San Diego. We have an additional just under 700 units in Austin, Texas. And we have commercial, ultimately about 1 million square feet of commercial. 80% of that is industrial use.
Oh, wow.
For life science and those kind of things.
Yeah. So what are your properties known for? You were mentioning that you guys recently had a project where you basically converted a hospital into an apartment and did something really cool as part of the renovation where you split the building in two so residents would have more sunlight.
Yeah, we have a very unique project. It was actually the old Sharp Steely building. And ultimately what we did was we have 3 buildings. And they're all renovated, rebuilt, restructured, come to the lifestyle customers are looking for.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the 3rd building was really a unique story because we didn't know what to do with it. We wanted to bring in a lot more light, given the age of the building. And our development team came up with a brilliant idea to cut a hole in the middle of the building. And being able to bring in more natural sunlight. And it's really cool. We have amazing pictures on our Instagram. True Bankers Hill, and that's TRU Bankers Hill.
Nice.
And you'll find it on Instagram, and some really good stories of how it all came together. And our customers are really happy, and our employees are proud.
So you mentioned that one of the things you guys focus on, rather than having a property manager or whatever, you guys really designate them as business leaders. Can you talk more about that and what that actually means and what is a business leader?
Sure. So we focus on lifestyle. It's important for us to align with what the lifestyle our customers are looking for. And to do that, we need to make sure we have employees that are empowered and they are running their business so they can make the decisions as close to the customers as possible. And the customer doesn't have to wait for an answer. And you're empowered to take care of any issue they may have, or also just be able to connect with customers, knowing that you have the authority to do that in all ways.
So how did that come to be, or what motivated that before? Were you all having your site teams that reach out to corporate in order to make decisions, or why did you guys implement something like business leader?
Sure. So we don't really have a corporate. We have kind of more of an employee lifestyle in our organization. And through that culture, we identify lifestyle as being what we think customers are willing to pay for. So we know they're willing to pay for it. We've proved that out over 100+ years being in the industry.
Wow.
So to be able to do that and do that consistently well, you need to make sure you have employees that are empowered so you then create customers that can be loyal for life. And you can't create customers that are loyal for life if ultimately don't have employees that are loyal for life. I think those two go together.
No, I love that. Your resident experience is in every way equal to employee experience. So when you think about some of the decisions that your teams are able to make, can you kind of talk through examples where at other companies, the business leaders would not be able to make that type of decision? I know right now, one of the big frustrations in the industry for a lot of site teams is that they really do not feel like they can make decisions by themselves. So what are some examples for you guys where the site teams are really feeling empowered and can make really critical and impactful decisions?
One of the things we tell folks is if you can make any decision in our organization as long as you are aligned in our values, meaning you're fair-minded in your approach, you do what you say you're going to do. And for us, that is the guiding aspect we want. Anything else, if something happens and we have a negative result, we consider that tuition.
Yeah.
Ultimately. because in the end, that customer experience is what really truly matters. And if we have an employee that decides to go above and beyond, and it may be out of scope, so be it.
Yeah.
If that made that customer feel a certain way, for example, in our industry, we hear a lot about can't waive a late fee.
Yeah.
As basic as that is, we wouldn't ever have a challenge with that in our organization, because you're beyond the power to, waive someone's late fee if you understand their story about what happened and those kind of things. And being human first matters, right? So that's why we drive our culture the way we do. Because when we had the pandemic, first thing we did was we discounted rents. We went out and we knew we were in a tough time, and we went out to our customers and say, take 10% off your rent for the next 2 months. So we gave a total of 20% off to our customers. And then we worked with them and partnered with them when they couldn't pay, right? So we heard the stories, and then we had issues where, as the pandemic went longer, as a level of business leaders, a big story would be a customer. We get a call from one of our customers' family members. Haven't heard from someone. Can you please check on that? Maybe they haven't gotten their medicine.
Yeah.
And our team or their pet was home alone and no one's there. Our team, you can call us. We're there.
Yeah.
And we won't be worried about, liability going into someone's apartment.
Yeah.
We don't worry about those things, because
which is a lot of it, property management.
And that's our model. You take care of people and they take care of you. It's very simple philosophy.
So on the really, I would say, practical side of things, like let's say I am one of your business leaders or property managers, and I come across an awesome technology or an awesome company that is going to cost the company like $1,000 per month, and I wanted to implement that. Like, as the business leader, am I able to make that decision to say, hey, I want to do this, so I need some budget, or I'm going to divert budget from something else to adopt that?
So we have what we call our organization innovation initiative, where you can partner with your leader, bring any idea that you have to ultimately get funding for it.
Yeah.
So it's not so much in a box of yes or no. It's as an aspect of, how does this improve the quality of life of the customer, the employee experience? And if it does one of those two things, we'll test it. We'll try it. We'll spend the money.
Yeah.
We'll spend $40,000 trying something and see how it works.
Wow.
To me, it's not about the dollar amount. It's about, can you try something, innovate, and then see if it works. And if it works, great. Can you scale it? Can you not? Great, but at least we tried it. At least you're empowered to know that you have resources behind you to ultimately be able to do something that you think may make an impact.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So from like your recent history or time on a company, what have been some of those initiatives where it has been like one of the business leaders is like, hey, guys, I really want to implement this, and you guys have gone ahead and done it, and it's turned out well, and it's something that you guys have implemented across the board?
Yeah, let's tie it back to what I originally said at the beginning, where we try to be as close to our customer with the decisions we make.
Yeah.
They tell us what they want, and it's our job to provide them with what they're looking for, or at least find some alignment to be able to meet them where they are, right? And I think we had one where customers had large dogs, and in that sub-market, we had some shadow market from single-family housing. And when we looked at what was the difference, people like the yards of the single-family. So we got an innovative idea to use money to test extending patios to ensure that now someone can feel like they have a backyard.
Oh, wow.
So usually you would never, take off from your gate.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that, and customers love it.
Yeah.
And if it was someone coming and saying, hey, you may want to do this because I'm competing with X, customers saying they want that, I'm listening to the customer. And that was our goal, right? If you're a business leader, you're going to hear what the customer is saying.
Yeah.
And it's in moments like that, you have resources to deliver what the customer is saying.
That is awesome. And then, so everything always comes down to ROI, NOI, impact, data, or whatever it is. So what have been some of the impact from this type of model where your employees feel extremely empowered? Has that impacted NOI? Has that impacted your renewals? Has that impacted employee turnover? where it's less than the industry average? Like, where have you guys seen the impact of this?
Yeah, we would not have been as successful as we've been to navigate the pandemic if we did not have business leaders. Meaning, if we did not have leaders that had complete ownership of their assets. And for example, when we're starting to come into somewhat of the recovery, we had a lot of rent relief programs. Well, that wasn't enough for our business leader group. They went out and found charities for our customers to also inquire about. And next, you know, we have this list of 50 different charities, not to mention the state and local resources that are being provided. And we were able to give our customers all these resources and not just give it to them, but walk them through the entire process. Talk to caseworkers for them. Know that they were missing a form. That's the only thing that's stopping them to relieving that heavy burden of debt off their shoulders. We would call the customer, get on a three-way with the caseworker, and get them approved, and so they could now have that level of burden off their shoulder. That you got to be a business leader to do that. That's got to matter to you, and it doesn't matter unless you own it.
No, I absolutely love that. One of my really big passions in this industry has been to advocate for employee experience and employee empowerment, because like you said, it allows your teams to be extremely creative, find solutions, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are like much closer to the customer. And you can't have any big innovation if they are not driving that change or don't feel empowered. So really appreciate you being on, Alex.